Welcome to the Health and Building Committee meeting, 22nd of March 2022. I wish to welcome everyone to the inaugural meeting of the Health and Building Committee. Standing committees have been introduced to the council meeting process in order for committees to consider reports prepared by council officers and to make recommendations regarding these reports to the monthly council meeting. Council delegates on the Health and Building Committees are Mayor Kennedy, myself as Deputy Mayor, Councillor Chandler, Councillor Jewett, Councillor Gallagher and Councillor Turley. The meeting is being live streamed and recording of the meeting. This committee meeting is being live streamed via YouTube and recorded and published online via Council's website. To those present in the meeting today, by attending this public meeting, you're consenting to your image, voice and comments being recorded and published. The Mayor and or General Manager have the authority to pause the live stream if comments or debate are considered defamatory or otherwise inappropriate for publishing. Participants are advised they may be subject to legal action if they engage in unlawful behaviour of commentary. Requests for councillors to attend via video conference. Mayor Kennedy has requested to attend the meeting via audio-visual link and has provided the reason being COVID contact. Councillor Turley has requested to attend the meeting via audio-visual link and has provided the reason of previous appointment before meeting dates were set. Call for a motion to accept Mayor Kennedy's and Councillor Turley's request to attend the meeting remotely. We've got a mover. Moved by Councillor Gallagher. Seconder, Councillor Chandler. All in favour? All in favour of those being audio? Yep. Unanimous. Yep. Thank you. Apologies. A leave of absence. There is no apologies, but there is a leave of absence application. Councillor Hayley Jewett has requested a leave of absence from the Health and Building Committee meeting. The leave of absence is due to her work commitments. Can I have a move for that?
I'll move that way.
Thanks, Councillor Gallagher.
I'll second it.
Just second that?
Yes.
Thank you, Councillor Turley. All in favour of that? Yep. Unanimous. For the prayer, could I call on Councillor Chandler to read the prayer?
Almighty God, we ask you to invoke your blessing upon this council, direct and prosper our deliberations to the advancement and true welfare of the people of the council area, our state and Australia. Amen.
Thank you, Councillor Chandler. And the acknowledgement of country, could I call on Councillor Gallagher?
Yeah, I acknowledge the traditional owners from the land on which we meet and pay respect to those elders past, present and emerging.
Thank you, Councillor Gallagher. Is there any disclosures of interest for tonight's meeting? No disclosure of interest. Minutes of confirmation. As this is the inaugural meeting of the Health and Building Committee, there are no previous minutes to confirm. Reports. Item 1, Broken Hill City Council Report number 7122 dated March 11th, 2022. Childcare availability, Broken Hill. Recommendation, the Broken Hill City Council Report number 7122 dated March 11th, 2022 be received. The council note the initiation of a council developed livability and housing strategy to support advocacy and assist in the identification and resourcing to improve livability within the city. 3, the council continues to support the work of the Foundation Broken Hill Project Officer to identify and research improved childcare. 4, the council partners with Foundation Broken Hill to advocate for additional services for the expansion of services. And 5, the council writes to the appropriate federal and state ministers, as well as local members, the Honourable Mark Coulton and Mr Roy Butler, to reinforce the urgency of increasing childcare availability within the city. Do you have a mover for that motion?
I'll move that way.
Thank you, Councillor Turley.
Mr Chair.
A seconder for that motion?
I'll second that way.
Thank you, Councillor Gallagher.
Happy to speak to the motion.
Would you like to
Mr.
speak on
Chair.
that, Councillor Turley?
Yeah, look, I support this motion. It adds on value to our previous housing strategy. If we want to attract people to our community, we can't just say, come and enjoy Broken Hill. It's a fabulous place, but we need to do more. Looking at our housing strategy and our livability has to include childcare. Childcare is critical. I know that over the years you hear many people that would come and work in Broken Hill or would return to work in Broken Hill, who live in Broken Hill would return to work earlier, but for childcare. If we can address the childcare needs, we will certainly see more people in the workforce. We will certainly see a greater opportunity for returning to Broken Hill and also looking at our livability. I just have one question though, Mr. Chair. Yeah. Is it state or federal funding for childcare?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. It's federal funding. We'll be advocating to both, but ultimately it is a matter for the federal government.
And perhaps one of that could include that the mayor meets with the federal member when he's in Broken Hill, because I think I think it says that we'll right, but I think it's important that we have representation in front of the federal member. And if everybody's like, if the second is okay with that, or the mayor may take that on as an action.
No, look, that's thank you, Councillor Turley. Jay and I have actually brought this up with the federal member on several occasions. So the federal member is quite aware of our concerns as far as the childcare in Broken Hill. We've spoken on a number of different things about setting up the family daycare centres and that sort of stuff. So yes, definitely more than willing to speak to the federal member again. And I'm sure the federal member probably wouldn't mind having other councillors there. I like to get as many people as possible at those things so that the federal and the state member know that as a council, these are important issues.
And was there any indication then from the federal member about funding available? And what is it for private or is it for not-for-profit? And is it long care or short? Just an indication of what were some of the details.
So at this stage, and Jay may be able to give you a little bit more information. It's more a look and see what's out there is more or less what's being said at the moment, but Jay might have a little bit more detail.
Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. No, that covers it off. It is the look and see what's out there, and obviously trying to attract private businesses to come into lease the developments that are occurring within the city. But just for councillors' information, it only came through later this afternoon, so I will circulate it to all councillors. Was a link from Travis Nadge from Foundation Broken Hill, just advising council of a Victorian study that was released earlier today, which actually said there's one childcare spot available for 7 children in Broken Hill. So we're classed as a childcare desert under their terminology, but I'll circulate that with councillors, and obviously that provides good information to support the advocacy with state and federal government.
Mr. Chair, isn't it disappointing that government would be aware that we have a lack of childcare, and yet it takes council and the foundation to really rattle the can to say, we need assistance? I would think that it would be important in the planning process that both the federal, particularly as this is federal, that they would actually be the ones reaching out to us and concerned, especially with they've got 2 national significant mining sites. We have Horsens and Cobalt Blue. It just challenges me at times that the government never keeps up to council.
Can I speak, Chairman?
Yes, you can.
Look, I think this is where the council takes the lead. We're closest to the community. We're the government body that understands what's happening into the community. I would be highly surprised that either a state or a federal member would have as near as much idea of what's going on in the community as what we do as me as mayor or any of the councillors or indeed the management of council. So I think it's up to us to make sure that the federal member understands if, you know, we've only got one spot for 7 children, that just says what we've been speaking about for probably the last at least 2.5 years that I can remember that it's been spoken about. We've been on the right track because the people that have been coming to any of the councillors have told just about every councillor I know that there is a shortage, and it's been proven now in a survey. So we can now use that to push our cause. It's no longer anecdotal. It's now got some facts behind it. And I think that we can use that, and we'll be able to leverage that to, even though the government's going into caretaking mode at the end of the month, no matter who's elected, we must ensure that that's used to increase childcare in the city.
Thank you, Mayor Kennedy. Thank you, Councillor Turley, and thank you, General Manager Jay. Is there any speakers against the motion?
Mr. Chair, can I just ask a question? I'm not a member of this committee, but I just want to clarify how the debate and discussion at the standing committees will work. I mean, are councillors who aren't members of the committee permitted to speak? Obviously, we're not going to be permitted to vote, and that's not the issue. But are we permitted to speak? And is the code of meeting practice to be observed with these meetings? There hasn't been a motion to go into committee, so you'd assume that the code of meeting practice would apply with those, the limitations on speeches and so on. So it's just a question.
Yeah, look, I can get Mayor Kennedy to answer that, but my belief is that you can speak, but you can't vote, being not on the committee.
Do you mind if I do address?
Please do.
So the proper rules of debate do apply, but as the chairman up there can be as lenient as he likes. If he wanted to enforce the rules of debate, then there'd be a speaker for and against, and people wouldn't have the opportunity to speak. But being a committee, a standing committee, it does leave a lot more for the chair to be a little bit liberal with the rules. Yes, everyone has the right to speak, whether a voting member or a non-voting member, but you only get to vote if you're a member of the committee.
Thank you, Mayor Kennedy. Was there anybody who wanted to speak against the motion? No. Okay, we'll put the motion. All those in favour of the motion? Unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, councillors and Mayor. Item 2, Broken Hill City Council Report 72/22 dated March the 4th, 2022. Fee waiver, footway dining. The recommendation is number 1, that Broken Hill City Council Report number 72/22 dated March 4, 2022 be received. 2, the council considers a 50% reimbursement of the footway dining fee for the 2021-2022 financial year. The council continue with the previously endorsed fee exemption of the footway dining fee for the period commencing Thursday, the 14th of April 2022 till Sunday, the 1st of May 2022 to coincide with the Easter period and Broken Hill Monday Big Bash. Can I have a mover of that motion?
I'll move that way.
Thank you, Councillor Gallagher. Seconder?
I'm seconded. Thank you.
I've got Councillor Chandler. Thanks, Councillor Chile. Did anyone want to speak on that motion?
Just that I think it's going to get, it's very good for the public. Public confidence will get returned to the council, and it's a good thing with relation, especially with we've got the Mad Max, the Big Bash coming up to Broken Hill. I think the consumer and the business confidence that will be very happy with the decision that we make tonight.
Thanks, Councillor Gallagher. Did anyone else? Councillor Chandler, did you want to say anything on that motion? No. Anybody against that motion? No. Right, we'll vote on the motion. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. Thank you, Mayor. Item 3, Broken Hill City Council Report number 7322, dated February the 2nd, 2022. Minutes of the Broken Hill Lead Reference Group meeting held 18th of November 22. It's recorded on page 38 of your business paper. Recommendation that the Broken Hill Council Report 7322, dated February 2, 2022, be received. And 2, that the minutes of the Broken Hill Lead Reference Group for meeting held 18th November 2021 be received. We've got a mover for that motion.
Move that way.
Thank you. Councillor Gallagher. Seconder? Councillor Chandler. Thank you. Anyone want to speak on that? No.
Could I ask just a question
Yes.
through the chair? Is it possible that we have a presentation from the lead reference group? Just because we can use lead as an important issue with greening the city and getting extra funding. Really, it'd only be just what's going on with lead levels on the rise or going down. If that was just through the chair to Councillor Brown, if that would be possible.
So, Mr. I'm sure it would be possible. I was just checking my own diary. I don't know. I'm not quite sure why I'm not listed as attending this, since it was before the election. There has been a meeting since then. I'm sure it would be possible to have a briefing about these lead levels. The report, I mean, there's a lot of detail in those reports. The annual report and so on, but yes, I'm sure that would be probably the best people would be. Peter Olsen's now retired, so he's not available. I don't know whether anyone from the EPA would be up to speed with the detail of it. Probably someone like from health might be the best person to approach, but I'm sure that would be easily arranged.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor.
So just through the chair, so that could be done, could it, to the general manager at some stage?
Yeah, thanks, Mackenzie. Yes, we'll organise that and circulate a calendar invite for a councillor briefing.
Thank you.
All those in favour of that motion? Yeah, carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. Now we have 2 urgent motions or requests for urgent motions. So I move a motion to accept the matters of urgency. One is the proposed CWO mural. We've got a report on that. And the second one is the regarding the rebranding of the Broken Hill Regional Art Gallery. Can we have somebody move that these 2 urgent motions be accepted? Or
I'll move that way.
thank you.
What are they? Sorry, are they in the business paper?
No, they're not. I'll read them out here. They're both urgent ones that have just come in, or that's why we're asking for approval to include them in the meeting. We got a seconder for that, so we can put these on the agenda. Thanks, Councillor Chandler. All those in favour? Yeah, all in favour, unanimous. Thank you. So the first is a urgent motion for ordinary council meeting 30th of March 2022, proposed CWA mural at 163 Arden Street, Broken Hill. One, that the Broken Hill City Council be provided with a report about the process to approve the DA as submitted by the CWA Broken Hill branch for a public art mural at 163 Arden Street, Broken Hill. That the approval be given for the mural to be completed by the end of September 2023, subject to the required processes. 3, that the Broken Hill City Council contribute the sum of $5,000 as a goodwill gift to enable the mural to be completed to cover rising costs since the original application and to restore the faith of the CWA and the City Council of Broken Hill following the previous terrible decision that was made. I move that? Okay. Can I have a mover for that motion?
Yes, I'll move that way.
Councillor Gallagher, thank you, Councillor Gallagher. Seconder, thank you, Councillor Chandler. Did Dave to speak or can I speak on that? Yeah, I'll just take the opportunity to speak on that if I could. I've spoken to the president of the CWA, and she's really upset. The whole of the CWA is upset about the way that they were treated in the whole thing. They put a lot of work into it. They did everything right as far as we could see from it. Everybody was given the minutes and the whole report from their last meeting. Following a discussion with Fran Whitelaw, she then went and spoke to the artist. Mayor Kennedy myself also spoke to the artist about it. They were very reluctant at first to have another go at it because they were so disappointed. After some consultation with them, they've come back to us and said, yes, they will have another go. They need further 12 months because they couldn't have it done by this year's now to open it in the long weekend in October. So they need up until next year. But they're quite happy to do that. We feel that they're a $5,000 because there is increased costs since all this happened, months and months ago. And it was 12 months in the making in the first place. And I think it's a good gesture to give a $5,000 donation towards it and to get it approved as quick as possible.
Mr. Chair, I had a question.
Yes.
And you might be able to answer it, or the General Manager. Does this breach, and I say this with goodwill because of the CWA, I absolutely support, but does this breach any of our public art policies?
Sorry, Councillor Tully, I missed part of your speaking there.
I said I absolutely support the CWA, but I'm just thinking in procedural and the processes. Does it breach any of our public art policies? And I
no, it doesn't. From what we can see, Councillor Tully, no, it doesn't. What the why it was refused because the committee that looked at it didn't think there was enough local content in it, which is really not part of their job in the first place, and it's why it has come back to council now.
Could I make comment on that,
You
Councillor
can,
Hickey?
You can.
Councillors need to remember when we were given a briefing from the law department that even when we hand over delegations or do policies, we still hold the authority of those delegations and the authority of decision making. The policy under the Act, council can, even if it was a breach of a policy, can vote however they like and can amend policy without putting it out on 28 days notice, as long as the policy is not changed permanently. So we can make decisions as a council, even if it was a breach of a policy, which it isn't a breach of the policy. Councillors have, and it's been made clear, have the authority to make those decisions. As long as we're not breaching the Act or other legislation, we are entitled to do anything within our range of authority. Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you, Mayor Kennedy. Is there any speakers against that motion? It's all in favour for that to go to the next. That goes to the council meeting of 27th, doesn't it? Goes to that.
You haven't had a speaker against Councillor Hickey, but would you allow some other speakers just to make comment?
Oh, yeah.
Brief?
Yep. If anyone would like to make comment, yes.
I would. Oh no, if someone else is there, they go first. That's fine with me.
Councillor Gallagher was just about to make it.
No, just I totally agree with the Mayor in relation to this. As long as we do it in good faith, that's fine. I think the Country Women's Association have done a fair bit for the city of Broken Hill and a fair bit for the city, all parts of Australia. It's founded. It's by its forefathers, so to speak, or foremothers, you might say. They're here. It was an atrocious decision that we could not put the mural on at that time. That's my opinion on that one. The situation is it's going to have local content. It's going to have the local base. It's a local artist. And I believe it's the best thing we could do. And it's, again, shows good faith in the council.
Thank you, Councillor Gallagher. Mayor Kennedy?
Yes, thank you. Look, I echo the comments from both yourself and Councillor Gallagher, but it's actually goes a step further. And it's about making sure that the community really do embrace the Broken Hill City Council. I've said this once and I'll say it twice and I'll say it again. We want to be a council that's loved by the community, and the best way to be loved by the community is work with the community and make sure the community, even if they don't agree with our decisions, they understand our decisions. There's no way that the knocking back of the mural for the Country Women's Association was accepted by the community. The community will understand things if they think there's some good behind the decision. So for me, this decision's more than just having that mural go ahead. It's about making sure that the CWA sees council as an organisation that helps the community and gets things through and does all they can to make sure these things get through, not stop them. So that's one of the reasons I think it's so important that this mural does go ahead, so that the people involved at that look at council and say, look, they did help us in the end. And I would say without a doubt they would be some of the biggest spruikers of council once that mural goes ahead that you'll ever get.
Thank you, Mayor Kennedy. All those in favour of the motion to put that to council meeting? Unanimous. Thank you. Now, the second urgent motion for ordinary council meeting 30th of March 2022, council briefing of the 16th of February 22 and ordinary council meeting of the 23rd of February 22, the rebranding of Broken Hill Regional Art Gallery. One, that the Broken Hill City Council invite the General Manager to prepare a detailed report for the April ordinary meeting to outline the full process taken in preparation of the proposed rebranding of the art gallery. Two, the report to cover how much has been spent to date, who authorised the expenditure, where the funds came from, who received the funds and what process was used to determine who was to be awarded the consultation and whether this was in line with council's proper due process. Can I have someone to move that motion, please?
I'll move that way.
Thank you, Councillor Gallagher. Seconder? Thank you, Councillor Chandler. I will speak on that too, if I could. This came about, we had the presentation from the director of the art gallery come to us first, which we had a council meeting on that, and then it came to the last council meeting, which the rebranding in the name was changed, but the flagging was not. I was asked for an interview by the BDT, by Otis Fillery, who said to me, why would I move a motion to knock back the rebranding when it had already been paid for? And I said, well, I'd like you to hold the interview right there and then, because to my knowledge, the money had not been spent. It was never ever declared to us as councillors that the money had been spent. He said, well, there's already been $35,000 spent. So obviously he's been informed by someone within the arts area or council, because I certainly did not know it. I didn't know it at the time we voted. It was never once mentioned during that time. I know that at the second lot of in our ordinary council meeting, there was a mention of $900, which I couldn't work out when the previous, when it was presented to us, was 36,000, and I didn't know why there was a difference. And nobody said then, even at the time when it was questioned about 900, nobody said that 35,000 had already been spent. And that's why I want to move this motion, that we find out exactly what's happened and who spent it and why. Does anybody else would like to speak on the motion?
I just have a question comment. I did read the minutes of the Art Gallery Advisory Committee for August, which was at the adopted at the September council meeting. It did first speak about the branding, and it was to put to the Art Gallery Advisory Committee. They were told the reasons why the branding should go ahead. They asked to be kept involved in any costs that would be associated. In that report that went to council, the financial implications for council were said to be nil. So between the August Art Gallery minutes and the November Art Gallery minutes, there'd been $35,000 spent between that period. So when that report is done, can that be taken into account just through the chair?
Thank you, Mayor Kennedy.
Mr. Chair, I wonder if the GM would like to make some comment on this motion to give us some insight.
Thanks, Mayor Tully. Through the chair to Mayor Tully. Not at this stage, Councillor Turley. Given that a detailed report to be prepared and staff members are involved, it wouldn't be appropriate for me to comment, but without getting all the details myself.
Thank you, General Manager. Is anybody who wants to speak against that motion?
Could I just have a quick comment, if you don't mind?
Yes, Mayor Kennedy.
Look, it's a shame this comes up, but because it has come up, I think your motion is well advised. The community want to know what's going on, right or wrong. And look, as a council, we don't want to hold anyone to blame or point the finger at anyone. But as a council, we need to find out what's going on and adjust our processes if they haven't been followed. They may have been followed, but this isn't about, to me, it's not about a witch hunt or people getting their pound of flesh. It's about making sure that as a council, we go forward, making sure that all processes are followed. So I just want to make it clear when I do, because I plan to support this, I support it on the fact that this is about making sure that even if it's about finding out whether it was done right or wrong. And if it has been done wrong, to make sure that we implement strategies to make sure that it doesn't happen again if it has. Thank you.
Sorry, can I have another question?
Yes, you can.
And I know this sounds very silly, but I missed Otis when he rang me, so I didn't talk to him. He took my comments from the council meeting, but it seems to me that it seems to have captured the community's interest. Are you looking at this motion with a thought that you may reconsider the branding? Is that what the motion's about?
No. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, man. No, look, my motion is not about that, about re-looking at the rebranding. It's about not being told that the money had been spent. It's about the processes and to see that everything is right, because people are questioning why was it spent and everything like that. I'm getting questions all around town about it. I can't answer them because I don't know the answers. And that is why I moved the motion. Mayor Kennedy, did you want to speak?
I was just, I thought Councillor Turley was talking about my comments. Sorry, no, I agree with what you just said, Councillor Hickey.
No, I just didn't know, just because it had been in the media, whether there was a sense that the community may be interested in it. So, okay.
All those in favour of the motion to so not all in favour. No. We've got Councillor Gallagher, Mayor Kennedy, Councillor Chandler.
Councillor Turley put a hand up, Councillor Hickey.
Sorry?
Councillor Turley put a hand up.
Oh, did you, Councillor Turley? Sorry, I couldn't see it from here. Okay. All in favour, unanimous.
Always happy to have clear and transparent processes. But I'm just going back trying to read the report from last month, but I'm on my iPhone, so I'm finding it very hard.
Just for interest of councillors, if they go to the September ordinary meeting of council and go to the art gallery minutes at the back of the agenda, that has where it was first discussed with the art gallery advisory committee.
Thank you, Mayor Kennedy. Thank you, councillors. That ends the Health and Building Committee meeting for the 22nd of March 2022. Thank you.
Thank you.